Welcome back to Satisfactory. As I told everyone in the end of the last episode, I would quickly go through the alternate recipes that I got, and I also decided that I'm not going to bother mentioning the ones that I'm not going to be using. So let's just see here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 C grade recipes. And I got 1 D grade recipe, and I even got an F grade recipe. Now, the B grade recipes might be interesting though. I got Gunpowder, which is an alternate recipe for black powder that uses compacted coal instead of coal together with sulfur. I probably will change to that because I want to have compacted coal at the sulfur outpost, so yeah. Then I got rubber cable, which is a recipe that I probably will not use. Thank you, game. It takes rubber and wire. It has a pretty high production rate per minute, but 30 rubber. Nah, I doubt it. Even though it would save a substantial amount of. No, would it? 30 per minute. So that's... Yeah, it would definitely. That's 15 cable. Or is it... No, it's 30 cable. Whereas this would be 9 times 5. That, my brain isn't up for that right now. It still requires rubber, so it's very unlikely, and I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments exactly where my math went wrong there and so forth. The productivity is slightly higher, that's for sure. Then I got the Silicone high-speed connector. That's a B-grade recipe, and I'm not sure if that was a good idea for me to take that. Yes, I do have the standard recipe. So it uses silica... sorry... instead of cable, and it uses 2 circuit boards instead of 1. Has a lower production rate, but apparently it has 150% productivity with only 20% speed loss. Not sure about how that works, but if you say so. And then we have the rigger motor. That is also a B-grade recipe. I don't really like it because it requires a manufacturer instead of an assembler. But at some point I'm going to be using the other recipe for computers rather than the crystal computers, and then I would probably have an excess of crystal oscillators. So it's a good recipe. Painful for acquiring the crystal oscillators, but it has great productivity, and it's probably better than this one in the long run. But that's not here nor there. Then I got 2 S-grade recipes actually. Wet concrete, that's a great recipe. So the standard recipe is 3 limestone for 1, so that's 45 limestone for 15 concrete, whereas the wet concrete is 60 limestone, 50 water, and... no, 30 limestone, 25 water. Or is it the double? Again, someone needs to do the math for me because I'm obviously not doing this correctly. But this is a great recipe. 80 per minute instead of 15 per minute, and all you do is add water. It's one of the best recipes in the game. Basically, it's 200% productivity just by adding water, which is a minor inconvenience. And then I got the Caterium computer, which is the computer recipe that I was referring to that I will probably change to. It's this one. It's also an S-grade. Higher productivity, 50% more speed, and it even saves one logistical step because you no longer need the screws nor the cable from this one, So you need 3 instead of 4 products. Then again, I'm using this one. That saves 2 logistical steps, I think. But it does output more computers, and that will be necessary at some point. I also got a recipe that isn't apologies, that isn't listed, and that's turbo fuel, plain turbo fuel. I don't know if that's a recipe that you can't get any other way. It might be. No, there's a standard recipe, and I got this one. So you can make turbo fuel out, or maybe he just hasn't added it to the production sheet. Instead of using heavy oil residue and compacted coal, you use fuel and compacted coal. And based on these, it's a bit weird. I'm gonna have to put up a refinery to check, to be honest. I need some copper sheets to do that. Do I have any of those? Yes, I do. The standard turbo fuel recipe. Turbo fuel. The standard creates 18.8 per minute. No, this is the alternate one. I don't have the basic recipe yet. Because that one's... No, this is the default. So I got the default recipe? Is this one the one I got? It could have been this one, actually. Use heavy oil residue and compacted coal. This one seems better, but I'm pretty sure it was this one that I got, because... yeah, it says standard recipe, 6 crude oil. No? I'm not sure which one is the default one. This says alternate, so... But I'm fairly certain this is the one I got, because I specifically looked at 6 fuel. But, yeah. Okay, that took longer than I wanted to. I'm glad I didn't go through all of the recipes. I've forgotten to remove the fog. There we go. First thing we want to do is send off the jetpack milestone, because I want the inventory slots badly. So let's just put these things in here. As you can see, I come prepared.
R&D inflated your pocket dimension and has provided a jetpack, which operates on oil-based fuel, for increased navigational capabilities as well as odds of survival.
Okay, oh, that's just 5 minutes. The next milestone we want to take after that is the alternate fluid transport. The one recipe that I did want to get from those hard drives I didn't get, so I'm guessing that it helps to have this one unlocked, even though I did get the other one. And I'm referring to the recycled rubber / recycled plastic. I got one of them earlier, so I'm not sure about that. But I really need this one as well. I think this one takes 15 minutes for the pod, but I will try to do that by the end of this episode. I've done some modifications to the hypertubes, as you can see. This is for the sulfur outpost. This is for the train terminal and steel part. I removed the one going over to the outpost going underneath, or to the sink, because this one goes there. I didn't need 2 to go there. This one still goes over to the mall area. Now in this episode I'm going to need some more steel pipe. Let's see here, steel pipe. Let's grab a couple of stacks of that. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's probably overkill, but still, I'm gonna bring some copper sheets as well. Just a couple of them. And that's in case I want to build some hypertubes. I can take the tube back. And then we'll take the car, even though it's not really necessary. Because I'm not going to be able to be driving it the way that we're going anyways. Could have taken the hypertube over here. That says hub. But this is where we're going. Let's park the car here. And the deal here is, as you can see, I've built foundations out. And then I have some denominators along the edge here. So you will find that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foundations, and then the 5th one, or the 6th one, is a denominator. There's room for a station here, and then again, there's room for a station there, and there, and there. And I've made 15 of these. That's probably overkill, but I'd rather have too many than too few. And the deal here is this side. I realize that I've done this the wrong way. I need to turn the entire thing around, because the trains are going to be coming in on the right side and they're going to go out again, so that I want right-hand drive on my trains and not left-hand drive. So that's something that we need to fix right away. Do I have enough inventory for this? Yeah, I do. That probably won't work. And I have found that trains definitely is a bit finicky to build as of yet. That also probably won't work. I need to remove that. Yeah, that's full inventory. Oh well. I think this one is full as well. It should be fine. Where's the ladder on this one then? There. And we need to go to transportation and train station. Ah, it does want to snap on that. That's unexpected. There we go. And then we need why do I keep saying freight? Freight platforms. That would be interesting. I guess it's the correct month for that, though. Build 4 of these, which I can also say right away is overkill. And let's go to the dedicated train. Oh, it wasn't the power that went out. So you want 3 foundations to get a 90-degree curve. And you can drop it there, I believe. And then you can continue onwards. Handily enough, each train or stretch of train line that you can build is 12.5 foundations long, which is 100 meters. We're going to stretch the train line. I probably should count. Actually, what I want to do first is build those foundations or pillars. And I think that I'm gonna... Do I have enough concrete? Not really. But I'll use the concrete I have. This first one is not correct in terms of numbers, I think. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it is. But not entirely correct, but it is correct in terms of where I have the first pillar. Because I want these pillars to be spaced 12 apart. So we're on the angle here, which means it's this one. So we build a foundation pillar. I really don't like the pillars that they added in update 3. If you enjoy them, please feel free to build them. It's just a personal taste thing for me. I want the 1 meter thickness foundations, and then we build an inverted ramp to have some kind of a like a support structure, and then we start counting. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now before I continue this pillar work, let's go upstairs again and check if my length there is correct. So up we go. I'm afraid this is going to be a lot of back and forth. I can just jump down again from there, but building a train system is something that I have discovered takes time. We want this to go to the middle of the foundation here, but yeah, so the first one should be fine. Let's drop it in the middle of the foundation. And then it should be 12 foundations to the middle of the foundation I built here, so we should be able to stretch it a little bit further than the middle of this one. So that would be the middle. How much longer can we go? Yeah, so that seems just about right then. Great. Just jump down here. So then we need to remove these 2 foundations. Place them back in, and we make an inverted ramp underneath again, so that we get the support here. And it's time to start counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is going to be an extended counting with Caledorn episode, because I think I have to count them out loud. It's one of the challenges when you record something. It's much easier to lose focus. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, not there. There. There we go, and we build the foundation down as well. Like so. Now I think I'll just pause the recording while I build the foundations, and we can come back to stretching the rails after that. And obviously I'm not going to use that node, in case someone was wondering. It is a normal copper node, I believe. Yeah, but we can find copper elsewhere. So, see you all soon. I just wanted to show this quickly. What I've done here is that I needed to go up there so that the foundation of the railroad didn't go into this little outcropping there. And then I was wondering, is that height sufficient for the train to run beneath it? And indeed it is. It would seem that to have a train run underneath a foundation, you need 2.5, or, well, you could technically probably have it in an 8-meter opening, but I don't think I would recommend that, because it would create some weird clipping. But one thing that you can do, which I think that would look very nice for having a railroad tunnel, is use the inverted quarter pipes and then have 2 foundations and put the railroad track in the middle, so that you get kind of a tunnel thing. I'm a bit miffed that there is no, I mentioned this before, there is no foundation that you can really use to bridge the gap between. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you guys saw that, so that you can see the height of a train in case you need that. This is not what I intend to do with the trains running on this line, but we'll get back to that when I'm back from doing the foundation work. As you can see, I've made pillars that way. That track there is just a test track to see if the 8x4 double ramp is sufficient for a gentle curve slope, and it is. So, be right back. There we go, and again I have to change the scene manually. Now I've built pillars every 12 on both of the tracks, and I've also prepared the inclination curve, whatever you want to call it. That's going to go... This one is going to come down. Now I need them to go to the same level, obviously, so I'm going to have to raise that one as well and make sure that they end up on the same level when they are outside of the Dune Desert. When you build these inclinations, it seems that the best place to stop the track on is at the foundation seam, and then build a track going to the next seam on the inclination, and then you build all the way up until the final seam before the end of the inclination, and then you build a track going just over the inclination like so. It will clip a little bit through the foundations, but you get a very smooth transition this way. Now what I've done here, this is for a turn. Now when you want to build a turn, you need 3 foundations. So 1, 2, 3 this way, and 1, 2, 3 that way. And this might be non-ideal because I need this to come... Yeah, I'm going to have to remove this actually. So I'm going to build this a little bit differently. I'm going to drag it up again, but I'm going to drag it up right above the inclination to the middle of this foundation. That works too. No, that doesn't work at all. Apologies. I'm going to pull it to there. And then I'm going to pull it right above to the middle of the foundation. There we go. That doesn't even make clipping, so that might even be better. Because we need a track to come there. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We need a track to go... And this one must not go on the curve or on the seam. It must go one away from the seam. And you always need to build the tracks first, it would seem, before you do the curves. The track we want it to go this way. And the same thing here. Not on the seam, but just the step before the seam. And then you build the curve. That has a 2-sharp turn, because this one is in the wrong location. This is just 2. I need this to stop here, but that's too short. It's a bit annoying. How did I do this earlier? I know I did this earlier. How about I just stop it there? Well, that gives me a floating track. I don't want a floating track. That gives me a floating track too. Okay, so if I take this one further down then. Stop it there. I did this earlier and it worked, so what the heck am I doing wrong this time? There? That also gives a floating track. That doesn't give a floating track, I think. Yes, it does. Because I needed to stop there. And I don't want it to clip like this, because that's going to look absolutely ridiculous. I will figure this out. But the thing is, you build the curve like that, and then you have a 90-degree curve. That looks correct. But what on earth I did here, I have absolutely no clue. How about I drag this just right across the edge, like so. Yeah, that works. And then I can connect those two together. Okay, well, that's one way of solving it. Now, this might look like it's safe to go straight ahead, but it is actually not. So what we want to do, that's the wrong way. I want the beam to go across. And I don't know if I need another support beam here. I think I'll build one. And then we'll go up with the double ramp 8x4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this looks 10, 11, 12. So we're up here. I think that's a pure node, but there are plenty of those over in that direction, which is one of the places where we want to have the train going. What you're seeing down there is the outpost that I've built but not powered up. That outpost is for Caterium ingots and Caterium wire, and that's a pure Caterium node with a Mark II miner. So now we can hook up the railroad track there, and then again we want to go to the seam, and we want to go to the seam, and I don't think I want to do anything more with this currently. I need to revisit how these things work, because I don't remember how those things work. I don't know if I need a track to go down there, but in case I do, let's do that as well. It's a 2-sharp turn, so it's fine. I'm pretty sure I don't need... Well, actually I do. So to get that right, because you have to build the curves first, for some reason. So the curve will be here, and then to there. And now you can connect up the mid path. And everything, well, that doesn't look correct at all. Not sure what happened here. Did I pull it one too short? Not really certain. I did. It has to go there. I think that's fine. I don't think we'll run into an issue with this inclination. Good. And that should give us a straight. That's very creative of you, game. Getting it to snap isn't always that easy. There we go. Now we have a T-junction here. I need to build a pillar under here. There we go. Now these things, I don't remember how they work. So I'm going to have to look into that. But I will find out before we end the episode, of course. Okay, I will do more foundation work, because I need to do more foundation work before we continue. I obviously, some of you might have deduced that I want to have a station over there, where I bring the wire down, and then I want the train to go back in. Rather, I want the train to go out and up and connect to that, and then down into the station, and then back out and come out to the station like that. So, Be right back. And here we are. I've built the bridge over there and the foundation inclination going down there. We should be ready for a turn over there, I hope. Now, I just built a segment of track there, which I probably will remove again at some point, but at least I built it to the correct spot, which is the middle of that foundation, so I can delete the other track. And I'm using these to remind myself of which foundations I need to stop at for the turns, because I am not used to this yet. So this goes right before the angle there, or the, I mean the seam. This I want to start here. I might have to remove that again because that might be too long. And again, we stop just one before the seam, and then we connect up the tracks. Then we do the same over here. Just make a long track. I'm going to probably remove that, definitely. Probably remove definitely. Yeah, that's a good wording. So one before the seam, and connect up the curve, like so. And then we connect up the straight line, or straight line of track, yes, here. And then we have another T-junction going on here, and I still need to figure out those switches. I'm not sure what they do. The last time I played with trains, those did not make sense. But that's fine. I can deal with things not making sense. Here we are going to need a lookout tower, because this is placing the stations. That's a whole different kind of size than the trains. The train tracks themselves are difficult enough to place down, but the stations are really big. So this one, let's make sure we have the arrow going the right way. Needed to go that way, and we want it to go... I'm not sure if we needed to go on the very edge. Let's stop it one before. And we need a freight platform pointing that way. And one freight platform should be plenty on this station. Now, if I'm right... Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. So... there. We can stretch that. And then we are on the third one, so 1, 2, and 3. And this should make a 90-degree angle as well. Very good, very good. I'm getting the hang of this, it would seem. But this is going to take some time. We should rename this station. This should be Dune Desert. Actually, that's going to be... Let's just abbreviate it. DD for Dune Desert. Caterium Wire. And then we need to do this inclination thing over here. That's always fun. First of all, I think we can do the curve. Rather, we have to do the curve. That looks correct. I want this to not float too badly. But I can't avoid that, it would seem. Then we go up. Sorry about that. Put an epilepsy warning on this video. And this should just come across the top. And then we can connect that to there. Well, almost. We need to do that again because we need to stop it on the middle of this foundation. There. And then that connects to the track here. So now we have a railroad that isn't completed, of course, but we have railroads ready. And in the interest of keeping the episode within reasonable time, I will pause again while I lay the track from here into the station and finish the foundations underneath these pillars. And I will be with you. I also need to do something with that because that's basically just an 8x1 floating thing without any kind of logical support. So I shall return shortly. So I had to run back to base to pick up some concrete. And I figured we'd do the milestone while I'm in here. Just so that's out of the way. Though I did forget to pick up the plastic. We have to go back and get that. Because if I have the milestones done, we can focus on getting the space elevator parts made for the... I think that's actually the final... what's it called? Final delivery that we can do in this update. So we have to wait for update 4 before we can do more deliveries, or at least before we get more tiers available. But I want to have things ready for that, and I don't want to do this off camera. So I know I could go into the codex and let you guys listen to what Ada has to say, but yeah.
Milestone reached. Fluids can now be packaged to allow for transportation via vehicle and conveyor belts. Additionally, highly improved biofuel can now be produced.
So there we go. Now we have the biofuel, and that will help. And we also have all of those packaged fuel things. Let's do this. Sort. I don't think I need this many of them. So let's put a few back. There we go. And I shall go lay down the track. So I will see you soon. And there we go. Now I've laid down the track. So let's see if this actually works. First of all, we need to connect up the power to the train station. I have no idea how much power that requires. We need to change the name of the train station. This will be MB for main base, and Caterium wire. Yep, that's fine. Now, I don't think that I'm going to need to take Caterium wire into the base, to be honest, but this is just something that I wanted to do. The train needs to be the correct way, so we'll put it like that. We'll also give it a freight car, like so. And let's see if this works. I'm driving it automatically, or manually this time. So the thing with those train switches is that there's currently an issue with them, so you don't really know which way you're going to turn when you get to them. At least that's what the information on the wiki tells me. So this one I would expect to go straight ahead since the arrow is pointing down, but it's going that way. It'll be interesting to see where we go up here. For an automated train, this is irrelevant. I will expect it to go to the left, and it does. Not bad. Now, one good reason to build trains is that when you have trains, you don't need to run power lines. So I don't need to run power lines out to that base, because... Whoa. Yeah, that's another thing. There is no train collision, and there is no damage from the trains yet. If I had done that in Factorio, I had most certainly would have been dead. but everyone expects them to add signals and train damage. That should be fun. Okay, there we go. Let's edit the configure the freight platform. This is an unload. Yeah, this is an unload station. And I guess it just takes anything that comes in. Train station, we need to configure a timetable. The local... Insert choo-choo name? Okay, I shall insert the choo-choo name. This shall be the DD MB Caterium Express. Timetable, we need to add the MB Caterium wire, and I hope I can, yeah, I can change it, DD Caterium wire. We have made changes to this timetable. Close this window to apply the changes. Autopilot on. But that means the train is now running on autopilot. Let's have a go with that and see how that works. That's the briefest stop on a station in history. You know, I said it in my previous series when I built the trains just for fun, and I'm going to say it again. These trains look absolutely awesomely cool. I am at a loss for words at how cool I think these trains look. So well done, graphics artists at Coffee Stain, because this is just amazing. The breaking down thing with those flaps going up, and they're not static, they will actually slowly go down as we brake. Like, wow. Oh, yeah, slowly they went down. And I can jump off here. So this station, or this freight platform here, is a loading platform. And what I will do now is, now we have power coming out from this, so I can connect up everything up there with that power, which will be very handy. I also left the car down there because I was fairly certain that I was going to need the car to get back from here instead of having to run all the way back to base. One thing that I intend to do here is build a hypertube thing up there. But for now, is there somewhere I can jump down without breaking my ankle? No, doesn't seem like it. I'll have to go out here, I think. This should be fine. Now let's go have a look at the outpost itself as well. Now the plan is, this was an experiment for me to see how can I build an automated train network and have it working. I might need the Caterium wire in the base for all I know. I just wanted to do this as a test because this Caterium node that is right here, which is a pure one, seems like an obvious thing that we want to make use of. So instead of having belts going all the way out here, I might as well have a train going out here. So one of the things that I do intend to do is have little outposts, like train outposts. And those train outposts won't just be for raw materials. I want to have, say that we have some iron nodes over in the rocky deserts, and I need, let's say I need steel rods. Then I'll have a train carrying coal from some coal nodes over to that, or rather I would smelt down the iron plates, and I would have a train going from there to an outpost, and that outpost would also get coal, so that I could smelt down into steel ingots. And then either I would have it at the same outpost at the steel ingots, or I would have a separate outpost making steel rods. Probably a separate outpost, because isn't that what a megabase is about? Having lots and lots and lots of outposts. But that, of course, will be in the Megabase actual proper series. So yeah, we have this Mark II miner here. I haven't overclocked it. I can overclock it. I've done everything up here based on this being a Mark III miner. But before we do anything, we need power. So let's build a power pole here and connect that power pole to the station. Now I don't know if a station has... No, the station has one connection, which is fine. And then we have to go up. So here's the smelting array. I think it's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 11 because we are going to run at 10.66. Actually, I should set that to 67 because we are going to be producing. How much was that again? We are going to be producing 160 Caterium ingots at this outpost when we have the miner at 480, which would either be a Mark III miner running at 100% or the miner we have down there overclocked to 200%. I'm sorry that I have forgotten to do this before the episode, because this would have been much easier if I had remembered to do this before the episode. Okay, now power. The power poles should be here, which means we can have a power pole... No, that would be clipping. Yeah, let's set up the power poles first and foremost, and we'll find the connection point after that. Like here. Sometimes that autosave is very aggravating. Okay, so what we have to do then is build a power pole down the corner there. And we remove that power line and we connect the station to that power pole and we connect that power pole to that one, and then that power pole connects to this one, which then connects to this one, and you get the picture here. And then, yeah, as you can see, power is flowing through the train network. I really like that. Then we have to put the power poles over at this side. For the most part, I would probably exist very happily with Mark I power poles throughout the game because of this specific building technique I have here. But occasionally I found that having Mark II and Mark III power poles are actually useful. That looks wrong. Did you get a power line? No, you did not. Okay, so then the ore is carried across the belt here. This one needs to be upgraded to a Mark IV belt at our earliest convenience. So that should be on this line, and it should be on the grill. I mean the grate. Guess it could be a grill as well. Could do some barbecuing here. Grill would probably also be a correct name for it, to be honest. Connect the power poles up. I'm not going to be able to fit everything into this episode. Specifically the connection of this down to the train station is what I'm not going to be able to fit into the episode, because we really need to round off very soon now. I haven't set these buildings to do their work either, so need to do that as well. In addition to that, what's coming out of the smelters right now will be half the capacity of these constructors. Which means that one good plan is to either go get the... Well, I can't. Oh, I can. Wait, I do have the belts. Yes, I can. But I need more encased industrial beams. I can use Mark IV belts here, and I can do everything here on... So I can overclock this thing. Okay, now we need to set these to quick wire. You all set to quick wire? What? So I remember to do these, but I didn't remember to do the smelters. Interesting. Yep, it seems I would remember everything. Now we are smelting enough ingots to use 13.33 of these. That produces 800 wire, which I would have to either use 2 belts, because the Mark V belt is not at all capable of handling that. So I've just built 12 of them, because 6 of them produce... how much is that? 6 times 60 is 360. So we're going to have 720 coming out of these, which will suffice. Now all that's left to do is to do this. And yes, I know that belt is crooked, but that's what usually happens with the miners. And I'm not really that bothered by it either. But the Caterium will be coming up into these smelters, which will then... I did a splitter here, so that half goes to one side, half goes to the other side of the smelting array. These will in turn, as soon as I place down the belt, that is, produce ingots, which will then be transported over to the constructors, which will then produce the Caterium wire, which I will then... That's a lot of bends. Transport down, and I should be able to do it from here to get them down there and connect them up. Oh, that's the input, that's the output, of course. So I'm going to have a bend, or maybe I should just build a ramp out here. I don't know. Anyways, with that said, I think that we have this episode at a close. So thank you all so much for joining me. If you have any kind of questions or comments, horrible critique of my building style railroad, whatever you might feel like, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section under this video. Or, even better, you can join us in our Discord server. You'll find the link to that in the description of the video. But for now, I will see you all in the next episode.